Hello everyone, good evening. How are we all? Just apologies for being a little bit late, but hopefully you can all see and hear me now. I'm just switching off my noise. Yay! Hello everyone, I hope you're all really well. Happy Thursday! Okay, so how's everyone doing this evening? I'll just give everyone a chance to find us. Like I say, I'm a couple of minutes late getting on just because I needed to grab a few bits and get things started. Hello Laura, how are you? Welcome to the party. As you can see, I've got a few goodies out on display that I am thinking about using today. Yeah, I thought I might give these a little go. I've got a few different ideas in my head, as always, things that I thought I might want to do, but whether we get time to do them all is the usual debate, isn't it? Because we don't have endless amounts of time, but whatever I can do I will attempt to. But I think we're going to use some of these cute little doggies, and we do already have them coloured, and I also have some Crocs coloured, so we might be able to do a little bit of, might be able to do a couple if I am clever about it. We shall see. So how are we? Hello, we've got a few people joining us. Emma's with us. Juanita, hello, how are you? Laura's doing good. Looking forward to the dogs as you just got them. Yay! Claire's with us as well. Oh, that's fantastic. So you've got you went for the doggone mutts, who are so cute. I don't know if any of you guys caught the show on Create and Craft at the weekend. Obviously, we focused on the coffee side of things with Create and Craft. So I didn't get to really do anything with the dogs. So yeah, so I thought it'd be quite nice to have a play with them tonight. Claire got her lovely new stash yesterday. Yay, that's fantastic. That's so cool. And what did you go for, Claire? I can't remember now. I think you went for a bit of most things. Hello, Annalisa. Laura says I was great on Create and Craft. Thank you. Was it all right for you guys? Because I know I didn't feel like I got to do a great deal of demonstrating, if I'm honest. But hopefully that was still all right for you. So yeah, so I've just popped out a few of those stamps there so you can see all of the cute little doggies. So I think we might go with this today. Because we've already got them stamped and die cut, we might as well use them, haven't we? And I also thought, I think we mentioned when we did the reveal, that this stencil, the porcelain pattern, would be an ideal one for a background in this. Annalisa says, don't get me started on Create and Craft yet. Annalisa wasn't happy with Create and Craft, but never mind. And I wanted to show you this from Create and Craft actually, because I didn't get a chance to finish this. Danielle says it was great, Jo, you did a grand job. Oh, thank you. That means such a lot, because so much preparation and hard work goes into the shows, and it's over so quickly. And I think I just really didn't get to do half of what I wanted to do, and it's frustrating sometimes because I really wish that I could have more time. But that's what the Facebook Lives are for. So I just wanted to show you guys this because I started prepping this for the show and I totally ran out of time. To be able to do it any justice, I really need to spend a bit of time on it. But I used the new square label dies to make this like memory book or flip book, whatever you want to call it. And all I've done is just cut it into a card really. So I've used the technique that I think I showed you when we did the reveal, where you just position your die over the edge of your fold so it doesn't actually cut. and then you create a card shape, and then I've stuck a few of them together so that then they concertina up into this little memory book. So the two outer pages are a little bit longer than the inner pages. So if I hold it like this, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that very well, but yeah, they are just a little bit longer, and that means then that you can probably tie a little bit of twine or ribbon on there to make that into to close your little book, or you could, which I think is another great idea, is fold up a little piece of cardstock, you know, if you cut a thin strip of that and add a little bit of double-sided Velcro to one side of that, and then you've got a little adhesive, you know, Velcro piece that you can open, which is really cool. And then you can just add all of those layers like I've done here on the front to the inside. You can create some pockets, you can add some pictures, you can add some of your stamps as well. You could, I just thought it'd be a really great one to do, to just add a few bits about your love of coffee. So for Annalisa, this might be great. Maybe some of your favourite coffee shops you could pop bits in here for. I haven't got any of the, I don't think I've got any more of the images from the coffee lover set, but you could obviously use the stamps here to decorate the inside of it, and maybe note some of your favourite places, maybe take some pictures of your coffees and add them in here. You know, Ant takes a lot of pictures of the coffees that he enjoys, so they'd be great to document in a book like this. Or you could, I mean, we're using the coffee theme, but you don't have to use the coffee theme at all. You can use this as a little brag book or a memory book for any of your pictures that you take. And this is definitely something that's become a little bit of a passion project of mine recently, is documenting and recording your photos, not just on your phone. So adding a little bit of journaling to them, and, you know, really printing out those pictures so that you get to see them, and being able to look at them and flick through a book with pictures really does capture the memories in a way that you just can't do on your phone, I think. Annalisa says, I could have pictures of my papa and me when I dragged into Starbucks. Oh, how I miss him. That's such a sweet thought though, Annalisa, because yeah, you've then got something that you can look back at those memories in a book that isn't just hidden away on your phone, and you can, you know, other people can see that as well, which I think is just a really nice idea. So yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you, and I might finish that off at some point when I get a chance. Who knows when that might be. So let's have a go at making a card and see how we get on, see how quickly we can do it. I'm going to use I think I'm going to use a coloured cardstock for my base. So in my head, I think either a dark brown, because I want to do this in kind of an autumnal feel. And I've used lots of darks, lots of browns, so I'm going to use a red, I think, this time. So just bear with me, I'm just going to grab a piece of red cardstock, and I'm going to attempt to cut this or fold this into an A6 size card base, which I don't think I've ever actually done. So I'm going to use an A6 card as my guide, which this is. So an A6 card should pretty much be two lengths of an A4 card base. I'm just making sure I've got an A6 piece and not an A2 piece. So this is a scoreboard and a trimmer. So this way around is a trimmer. So I'm going to use my, like I said, I'm going to use my card base here, my white card base, as a guide. Now what you could do to make things easier for yourself, and maybe not use as much of your coloured cardstock if you didn't want to do that, is to just use our A6 layering dies. The largest one is exactly an A6 card base shape, so you could, if you wanted to, just do that. But I thought it might be a nice idea just to have the whole of the base in the colour that I've chosen. So I'm going to extend this. So this is We Are Memory Keepers scoreboard, and it's great because it goes up to a 12-inch size, which is exactly what we need. Because when I place my card down here, I can now see, and I hope you guys can just about. In fact, I move it up here, you can see it a little bit better, can't you? So you can see where the end of my card is. That's showing me where my score line needs to be. So I'm just going to hold on to it and butt that up against the edge here. I can remove that now because I know where my line's going to be. Just score that line there. And then we fold that over, and then we're just going to burnish that with our bone folder. Just make sure we've got a nice crisp crease. And we've got a nice top folding card there, card base. So there you go. So that was nice and straightforward. Hello, I'm missing a few bits here, aren't I? Maria's with us. Hello. She says she'll be a little time to watch because your laptop is about to go down. Oh no. Technology, eh? Very frustrating when that happens, but we appreciate you joining us, even if it is only for a moment. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in there. Now, I do need some white cardstock for my background. I'm just going to try and find a piece. Is that a proper piece? Yeah, it feels nice and smooth. Yeah, that's a good piece. So I'm going to trim this down eventually. But I'm going to do my ink blending first, and then I'll trim it. I think that's going to be the plan. And we'll do all our die cutting at once because I've got a few bits that I want to die cut. So, hello Laura, how are you? So we'll pop that to one side, and I'm going to get my silicone mat out here. So you can see I am just thinking and making things up as I go along, can't you? Can you hear my brain whirring? So yes, so did a few people watch Create and Craft? What were your favourite bits from the release? Do let me know. And is anybody crafting along tonight? That's what I'd love to know that as well. So I'm just going to pop that there, and I am going to use a little bit of washi tape. One of the things I was really frustrated with myself for when I went to Create and Craft was I forgot to take my washi tape with me. So I always write myself a big long list of things to take because it doesn't matter what I do, I always forget something. And you would think, you know, I've been doing it long enough now, I know what I need to take, but there is always something that I miss off the list, which is so frustrating. So I couldn't then die cut any of the smaller dies because I worried that they would move in the machine. So yeah, thankfully I had all of that prepared. And to be honest, thankfully I did have all of that prepared anyway, because it was quite manic, wasn't it, I think? There was quite a lot going on. So I'm going to use my stackable blender brushes for this, I think. So these are our stackable blender brushes. And they are back in stock, so if you haven't seen them already, they are awesome. And they are these really gorgeous, cute little finger brushes that you can pop on the end of your finger and ink blend to your heart's content. And they are so cool and easy to blend with. So I think I'm going to use some of these today. And the colours that I'd been thinking of, like I say, quite autumnal. So I wanted to use some orange, which I do like. A bit of ripe persimmon is a good colour, isn't it? I wanted to do some nice red. Candied apple is a good red. Might be a bit pink, that. We'll see. We'll see. Because the fired brick or the barn door are very, very nice, sort of deep reds, aren't they? Oh, I might go with a bit of barn door. I'm feeling a bit of barn door. And we want some yellow, so I'm going to go with a mustard seed. And then I do love the look of aged mahogany. It's almost like a burgundy colour. And I think that would look really, really cool as well. So I'm just cracking open some of my little brushes here. I'm going to work through each of these and just create a cute little background. Now I know none of these colours really make sense with my with my images, but that doesn't really bother me. I'm not looking for realistic bones or fish in this background. I'm just looking for the effect of something that's a bit, like I say, a bit autumnal. So I'm just going to add patches of this colour, this yellow, to begin with. And so starting with the lightest shade first. And like I say, the great thing about these stackable brushes is that you can really direct where you want your inks. Marie says, love to watch my lives. That's so sweet. Thank you. I love doing them. So I probably should tell you then, while we're ink blending and we've got a bit of time to talk, that Aunt and I are going on holiday soon, which is very, very exciting because we haven't had a holiday for so long. It seems like such a long time. So we will be going on holiday in the next 7 days. It seems to have been such a long time coming, and now all of a sudden it is upon us. So it's very exciting, but also we've got so much to do between now and then to get the business you know, sorted, get everything organised, get the cats organised, get all our packing done, and that's the only thing about going on holidays, and there's so much to do. So it does mean that there is the potential for this to be kind of the last live for a couple of weeks. So I am hoping that I might have time to be able to do a bit of a live for you next Thursday, even if it's just a short one. It all depends on how things have gone in terms of our preparations. So it might be a little bit you know, a bit fraught if we've still got lots of things that need to be done. So yes, so please you know, expect the unexpected, I guess is what I'm saying on that front. We don't really know whether we'll be able to do that or not. So I will, I'm not going to schedule anything in. If it happens, it happens. You should get your notifications, so make sure that you have, you know, you've got notifications for if we do happen to go live, and then you will know as soon as we're on, if I do manage to do it. But it is a case of we go away on the Friday, sort of midday, so it is going to be a little bit lastminute.com if you know what I mean. So yeah, so we shall see. We'll see what happens. But while we're away, you will still be able to purchase from the shop. It's just that we won't be able to ship it until obviously we come back, because there's only me that does that. So yeah, so if you are, if you're wanting to purchase something, don't worry, you can still do that. But there will be a slight delay to getting those items out to you. So yeah, please bear with us, because we haven't had a break or any kind of a holiday for about 2 years it will be. I think we worked out that it was pretty much 2 years ago to the day that we last had a holiday. So yes, so we are very much looking forward to it. We haven't had a holiday in this country during lockdown either, so it's not just the fact that we haven't been abroad, we haven't had any time off work at all. So yeah, so it's going to be very much it's going to be great. We absolutely cannot wait. Well, thank you guys. Danielle says, yeah, you deserve it. Maria says, you deserve it, darling. Thank you so much. That's really lovely of you. So I think we both do need a break, because it's very easy to get a bit burnt out. That looks so cute. I love that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this out, and then I might do a little bit of shading around the outside and bring that colour inwards a little bit. But let's see what we cut off it first before I do that. And then we'll decide what colour to add to the outside. I'll just give this a little bit of a clean with my chamois. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to do a couple of things. Remove that for a start. So let's see, what size do I want? So these are the A6 layering dies, and this is my card base. So let me see, how much of this card base do I want to see around the outside? Do I want to see this much? So just a little sliver or a little bit more? And I think I like the little sliver, because I'm also going to add my scallops on here. So I should have done it as a top folding or a side folding card that way, but it still works this way because I think I'm going to use this landscape. Although we could still do it this way. Oh, that's interesting. We could still do it that way, couldn't we? See, I told you I'm making it up as I go along. So my oval still goes in the middle, and so do my doggies. So they fit perfectly in the middle of there. That's really cute, isn't it? So we could do it that way, or we could do it using the leftover ink. I need to try that, don't I? Of course, Annalisa, you are so clever. I wish I'd seen that before I did it. Yeah, I wish I'd seen that. So I think I'm going to go with the dogs the other way. Yeah, I like that idea of the dogs the other way around. This way's cool. It's given us a little bit more area to create a landscape, which you could do, which is another really cool idea. But I think I like it. Yeah, I think I like it. I don't know though. See, I'm undecided. It doesn't matter though, because we can decide that after. Yeah, I like that way, I think. I like the fact that they fill the area there, and then we can create a little bit of ground or a sentiment across the bottom there. Yeah, I think that's going to work really nicely. So let's cut this out, and let's cut our oval out. So yes, Annalisa's made a very good point there, that I could have, before I cleaned off my stencil, sprayed it with some water and then added some paper over the top, some watercolour cardstock, and that would have made a really, really cool background. So I will definitely have to do that next time. I always forget to do that, and it's such a cool effect. So yeah, I must remember to do that in the future. I think I'm going to have to take my my sweatshirt off, guys, because it's got very hot under these lights. It's been a lovely day today, actually. It's not been the warmest, but the sun's been out and that's been nice. Been a much appreciated change of temperature and gloominess. So I also need some white cardstock. Do I have some here? Let's have a look. Oh yes, excellent. So this is some of our super smooth cardstock. That's not quite wide enough, so I'll have to use this bit here. So I'm just going to cut a piece out that I can then fit through the dancing machine. Oh yes, and I'll keep that as well, because we're also going to make a little bit of a bit of ground for our guys to sit on, I think, as well. So I'll just put that on there. I'll grab my plates for my Gemini. Now, I do have a reel to show you, or a story to show, which I don't think I added it, and I can't remember. But I put these through my plates through the through my dishwasher, and I can't remember who gave me that tip, but it worked an absolute treat. It might have been Laura. I can't remember. But whoever it was, thank you. Apologies for the noise, but yes, that worked an absolute treat. So whoever gave me that tip, you're a genius. So it's still a little bit bowed, but so much flatter than it was before it went through the machine. And the dishwasher will probably go on this evening, so I may pop it through again. So there you go. If you haven't tried, I just thought, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Laura Ann has asked the question, do I take any crafting on holiday? I actually don't, you know, because we tend to, when we go abroad, anyway, at least if we go abroad, it might be different if we went away in this country, but when we go abroad, we like to just lay in the sun, and I like to read. It's the only time I get to read actual books. I like to read my crime magazines, and maybe drink a cocktail or two, and yeah, and I find it very hard to craft in the sunshine and in the heat. So so I tend not to take any crafting with me. What I do though is, because my brain is always on like overtime, is I will take maybe a notebook or a sketchbook with me, so that I can either, if I have any ideas while I'm laid around and getting, you know, a little bit of time to just relax and empty my mind a little bit, that really helps come up with ideas. So thank you, Marie. Thank you so much for joining us, Maria, and thank you so much. We will have a lovely time, and I'll see you when we get back. So yes, so I will take my sketchbook with me, so that if I get any ideas while I'm away, I can just write those down really quickly and make a note of them. That looks really cool. I do like that. So I think I'm probably going to, is that way around, piece my centre point back in the middle, which I know seems a shame because it's going to cover up some of that background. In fact, oh because I don't want to cover up all that lovely background, but I am going to do a bottom portion, and it might be nice to just diffuse that background a little bit. So what if we cut this piece out of some vellum? That would be quite cool, wouldn't it? So let me just grab a bit of vellum, because I'm sure I've got some here somewhere. Where is my vellum? Where is my vellum? Annalisa's asking how it worked and what did it do to my plates. Well, basically I don't really know exactly what went on in the background, as in while it was in there. All I know is that when it came out, it had straightened up and it had also cleaned it a little bit. So there were still some bits of, little bits of cardstock in some of the grooves that are on the plate. So I used my washing up brush to clean the extra bits off, but it just straightened them out. So beforehand, this was so incredibly curved that I couldn't get, my dies would fall off the end, and when I was running them through the machine I wasn't getting an even cut. So it is still a little bit curved, but nowhere near as much as it was. So yeah, so that's why I'm thinking I might try it again tonight, and it might even it out even more. What do you think? It was so much easier than what I've done before, when I've had to, when you've run it under a hot tap and you can burn your fingers and all kinds. So now I've got a little vellum piece, a little vellum scalloped edge, which is quite cool. Might be able to use that for something else in the future. So I'll just pop that in there. So I keep all my scraps of vellum and acetate in here, so that I know where they are if I need them in future. And then we've got this piece now that will slot back in the centre of there, and that's just diffuse that background a little bit, which I think looks really cool. And then our little dogs on the front, aren't they so cute? I love them. They're adorable. So I was going to add some ink around the edges of this piece, but I like it crisp and clean the way it is, so I don't think I'm going to do that. What I also would like to do, the idea of doing, is to pop this up on some foam. So an idea for doing that, to kind of save on cutting out loads of your cardstock, or maybe using lots of foam pads, would be to cut this out of some fun foam. So I know I have some of that up here as well. Let me see if I've got a piece that is big enough. Is this piece big enough? Oh, not quite. Let me grab the, well, again, I've got scraps of fun foam here that come in handy for this kind of thing. So that looks perfect. So let's pop this through the machine as well. And let's see if we can get a nice bit of dimension. One of the things that I have noticed before with the Gemini, because the Gemini is the only machine that I've used that has been able to cut through foam so easily. Look how easily that's just popping out. But there is so much pressure that sometimes it can just spread your shape out a little bit. It can, because the foam is bendy and pliable, it can kind of alter the dimensions of it slightly because of the pressure of the machine. But once you stick it to the cardstock, it should rectify itself. You just have to be aware of not pulling it and stretching it any further, just because it is that little bit bendy. So you can see now that we can match those up. So there is an upside down and a right way round to match these up. So we've just got to make sure that they are matched up, which I've not done, obviously. There we go. So you can see how it has just, it's stretched it a little bit. So when we line it up, we're just going to have to kind of unstretch it, if that makes sense, when we stick it down, and that'll sort that little bit of stretching out, no problem. So that looks right to me. And like I say, this little bit of vellum is going to work to diffuse the background. Alice, so Lauren says she never uses vellum. Alice and Chelsea says, vellum, just what I need, Jo, thanks for the idea. Yeah, I always forget vellum, but it is such a handy thing to have, isn't it? Okay, so I wanted to make a little bit of floor. Just pop that to one side for my little doggies here to stand on. And one of the things that I thought might be a good idea, again, we're going to do a little bit of ink blending. I'm going to use a little bit of brown. I think I will use my brown brush here. And what am I going to use? Maybe, don't need to be too dark. What have we got? Walnut stain. Might be a bit dark. Yeah, that's a little bit dark. Tea dye. I think tea dye might be a little bit lighter. Yeah, I think I like the tea dye. The tea dye is a distress ink rather than a distress oxide. So it's not got that same creamy texture. So it can be a little bit harder to blend. But with the blender brushes, it's not a problem. So let's just add that little bit of brown. If you don't have any brown inks, you could use craft cardstock, which is a good option for this as well. I do like a bit of craft. So let's have a look. I think that's probably going to be as high as they're going to go, isn't it? So I think that'll work. And then my next step is, I think, shall I use the aged mahogany? I feel like that might be quite cool because it'll go with the background. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way. So let me just give this a clean, because I'm going to use one of my stamps now, if I can find it. Let's move that out of the way. I don't know what I've done with my little elastic band. Right, bear with me a moment. I just need to grab a stamp. Where have I put the stamp? There it is. Should be easy to find because it is one of our largest stamps. We don't do many of these. So this is our wood grain stamp. I love this stamp so much, and I don't use it a lot, and I also love the sentiments that come with it as well. The would you be mine, you are tremendous, I would be lost without you, I'm thankful for you. I think they're such good sentiments. So if you haven't got this one already, it's a great one to have in your stash. And what I'm going to do with this, because it is such a big stamp and I only need a little bit. Now it might be a little bit difficult for you to see that. I wonder if it would have been easier for you to see actually on here, even though I put it away. It might be a little bit easier. You can see some of the pattern in there, and I'm going to select some of the pattern that I think is going to make the most kind of impact on my card. So I'm thinking around there's a good shout. So I'm just going to stamp that area. Now we're only going to get one shot at this because we're not using a stamping platform. You could use a stamping platform if you wanted to, and add your cardstock to that, but this is often an easier option with a stamp this size. So I'm just going to pop my cardstock over the top, and then I'm going to gently just rub it with my fingers over all of that surface to make sure that all of that ink is transferring. If it's not a perfect stamp, it really doesn't matter because we're creating a wood effect, so it really doesn't matter. But look, that's stamped absolutely perfectly, and doesn't that look so cool? I love it. So you could effectively do all of the background like that, and make a really nice kind of wood hollow for your critters to sit in, and I think that would be a really cool background as well. So I think I might have to do that one day as well. We've got some really cool woodland critter stamps, and they would look really cool in that background. So so yes, that's definitely one to do another time. Remind me about that one, guys, because that I want to do that. I want to make that. I think it would be so cute. So let's pop that in there and put this away. This away. Clear up as we go along. It's much easier. So, and I do think this would make a really nice decorative piece with some of our if you use some of our the spring bloom dies, but do them in autumnal colours, have the wood background like this, build up your scene with the dies, and then add the sentiment. I think it'd just be so cool. So I'm in danger of wiping ink everywhere, so I'm just going to blast this. Always so good to use the older and awesome stamps with the newer ones. Exactly. It's one of my goals, Annalisa, is to really start, you know, going into my stash and mixing and matching more, because I tend to, when we do the lives, I focus a lot on the new release, and I don't get to play with any of the older stamps, and I love them all. So yeah, it's a really good idea to mix and match them. So I'm just heating up my heat gun, and then I'm just going to blast that, dry off that ink so that I don't smudge it anymore. That's that, nice and easy. Just hang my gun back up. So, so yes, so that's that, and now I need to chop this down a little bit down to, because we don't want the rest of that background, because that's obviously we want to see our other background. So I'm going to grab my my little mini trimmer, and I'm going to just move this again now because I think we might have finished with that now. And I'm thinking that I can probably cut that down. It's hard to get an oval straight, isn't it? Let's see. So there we go. So we've now got our little base there. Just pop that cap back on there, and let's grab this back over and see where we're at. So I'm going to stick this to the frame, because it'll have chance to just write itself then while we're doing the rest. So I'm going to add some dots of glue all the way around. we can line this up. Pretty much lined up, and if there is anything hanging over the edge we can always trim that off. Where it, like I say, the die cutting machine has just been a little bit too much pressure and has squished it a little bit out of shape. So I'm just doing a little bit of manipulating as much as I can. I don't really want to see the foam hanging over the edge. But that liquid glue seems to be grabbing quite nicely. So there we go. Cool. So that's great. So we can leave that to dry. And then let's pop the what did I do with that? Put the background on as well. And then I'm just going to have a little think about what sentiment shall we pop on here. We can have maybe a die cut sentiment on the top, and pop that there, you see. And this is going to slot. If I cut that straight, I don't think it matters, because our little doggies are going to sit over the top of it, aren't they? And it'll look straight then. So then the sentiments, then let's have a look. So in our set we've got You're Doggone Awesome, which is very, very cool sentiment. I do like that. The Have a Howling Good Day is also a really cool one as well. So I did have some of these already die cut, didn't I? Let me see if I can find that. And I don't know whether to do the white, the black and white. No, I think what I'm going to do is some heat embossing onto this red. So we've got the Have a Howling Good Day. And I quite like the idea of You're Doggone Awesome sitting in there, and then from the lovely lovely friend Slimline Scallop dies, we have the Friend sentiment. So the Friend sentiment could sit on the top there, and then it could say You're Doggone Awesome at the bottom. That's cute. I like it a lot. So so yeah, what do we think? I think that sounds like a plan. I think that sounds like a plan, doesn't it? So let's try I think maybe doing this in the red, and the red sentiment at the bottom is going to look quite cool. So if we get some more of this this dark red here, and if we just cut a piece out, I think actually we're going to want to cut out a few of the sentiments so that we can pop that up as well. But let's start with the heat embossing, because I think that's the most kind of complicated bit, if we like. It's not complicated bit. I'm going to add plenty of my anti-static powder here, because I don't want there to be any static. And then I'm going to grab my sentiment, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and just stamp it freehand rather than using my stamping platform, because we're only stamping this small image. Do you think I dares? Should we try it? Should we risk it for a biscuit? It's only a bit of cardstock, isn't it? Come on, let's let's live dangerously. So I've somehow managed to get fluff on there. Let's remove the fluff. So what's everybody up to then today? Are we crafting along? Let's give that a good bit of pressure. Boom. Yes, like it. Up there. Now then, what did I do with my little bit of scrap paper? Some scrap paper here, I think, isn't there? Need a little bit of scratch paper just to catch all of our embossing powder. I'm going to use some of this ultra fine powder here. Now what you could do, I'm using white because I do like the white on the red. I think it really stands out. But what you could do if you have any kind of golds or browns, I know the Wow, and we do have some. I think we've still got some of it in the shop, but we have like a macchiato colour, which I think would go really well with this. It's kind of a reddy brown, which is really cool. So yeah, that's a good one to try if you're wanting to do something a little bit different. I'll get my silicone mat back out because this is heat proof, so it will protect my work surface from the heat. And then I can just hold that there. You can see that start to change. Gorgeous. Very cool. Hello there. No, I'm okay, thank you. That's Ant's just popped in to see if I want a drink.
Oh, hello there.
Hello there.
Sorry, I'm not joining you this evening.
Yes, he's not long since finished work, bless him, so he's going to have a bit of a chill and have some food, aren't you now?
Been a very busy man today.
Been very busy, haven't you? Busy saving South Yorkshire from all of the fires.
Keeping South Yorkshire safe, not just from fires.
No, from everything.
From everything. I climbed through the window today.
You climbed through a window today. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you for popping in. And goodbye. So Emma says that she's making a coffee, very appropriate. Jess is crafting along and about to use some texture paste and make a mess. Nice. Annalisa says, hello Ant, he's disappeared again, but I shall pass on the message. Bless him. Yes, he didn't finish work until quite late tonight, so he's not been able to join us this evening. I feel like that was the right one, but it doesn't feel like the right one now because I've got it upside down. It's a sausage. Right, so let's pop that on to the back with a bit of my foam, and then I'm going to use my mini die cutting machine because it is a little bit easier for doing these smaller things. Oh, and while I pop that through, let's put the friend die through as well. Excellent. Saving time. Oh, I've not lined that up very well. I was going to miss off the top of my D. Silly me. There we go. Do it properly. There we go. And that will fit through there. Laura says she was thinking about Ant last weekend. Wee Man was choosing birthday presents and all his ideas are firefighter related. That's cool. It is, like, I know Ant said this a lot, that it's like every boy's dream, isn't it, to be a firefighter one day. And he is very much, you know, living his dream doing it. So, yeah, it's a great ambition to have. Okay, so, and I really need to do a firefighter set. You know, I think it's because I'm overthinking it, because I want it to be really special, because obviously it's going to represent Ant. So I want it to be right. So everything I do, I'm kind of overthinking and a bit like, oh, I hate it. When really, you know, it's probably fine. But so that's the little tittle off my eye, and I'm going to do my best. Just turn that over, not to lose that. But the friend looks awesome in the red. So just move the little tittle up there, and then we've got the oh, you can't actually see that because it's not on screen, so I'll move that down so you can see the friend can just sit across there, which will look very cool. And then we've got the Your Doggone Awesome at the bottom. Oh my goodness, I love it, it's so cute. So I think I'm going to cut a couple more of the friends so that we can layer this up and make it almost like it's a, what's the word, almost like it's a chipboard piece that you've created yourself. So I'll just move that back up there. Oh, I've lost my tittle already. No, I haven't. I just ran over it. It's there. It's there. So yeah, just don't lose your tittles, people. So typically when I'm doing this, I think 3 in a layer works quite well. So I think we'll go for 3. Annalisa says she loves this card. You need little ants in the firefighter set. Not the person ant, but ants. Oh, that would be adorable. That, see, we've had a debate over what would be the right creature or critter to be a firefighter. So we've, you know, I was thinking maybe elephants, little elephants, because obviously their trunks are like little fire hoses. So I thought that could be quite cute. So yeah, that was one idea. Ant wasn't as keen on that. I thought about bears. I did a bear, but I didn't really like it once I'd done it. And then I think we thought maybe something like lions, because they're brave. You know, just so many different ideas. And then I thought, well, what if we made it just something that was completely unrelated? Elephants, says Alison. Yeah, do you think elephants would work? Little firefighter elephants would be quite cute. But then I thought maybe you could just make it something completely different, like firefighting giraffes or something. Or maybe if you just made them cats and dogs. I don't know. Though my daughter's first choice of crew was to be a firefighter crocodile. No idea where it came from, how she ever thought she would become a crocodile. That's too cute. So, firefighting crocodiles. Maybe that's the next thing. I like it, I do. It's different, you see. It's not what you'd expect. But yes, why a crocodile of all things? I want to be one of my cats. That's a logical thing, because all they do is get to sleep all day, eat and be cuddled, and just, you know, basically fluff around looking cute, and everybody thinks they're adorable and loves them. That's not a bad life, is it? I think that's a pretty good life, to be honest. So that's my friend bit done. So we've just used that one piece of cardstock there to get all of those die cuts. So that's pretty cool too. A collection of zoo animals. Yes, maybe that could work. It could be lots of, you know, because the fire service is a diverse place. So having several different types of animal would be very good, wouldn't it? So shall we start popping some of this together, do you think? So for this background, this is the bit that's going to be a little bit tricky because it's vellum. I'm going to put my friend together first, actually, because again, this is something that's a little bit fiddly, but not. So my glue will come out. Just literally been using you. Why have you started being weird? There we go. It's just having a little moment. So just add a few little dots. A zebra. So I do want to do some zoo animals. Well, not zoo animals, safari animals. I don't want them to be in a zoo. I want them to be living free on the plains of wherever. And so I would like to do a set like that, and I'm thinking that that's probably going to do that maybe for next summer. That's definitely in the pipeline. I've got lots of different designs in the pipeline. I've put an order in today for the next release. That's all underway as well, so that's fabulous. Well, I say the next release, it's the release after the next release, because I'm working ahead of myself. So I wanted to get that in nice and early before we went away. So that's one task completed. And then when we get back, I will have another set to send off that will be kind of a New Year set, or winter into Valentine's Day set and or release. But also when we get back, it's going to be super busy, so we're going to have this rest. I'm going to be all relaxed, and and then we're going to come back, and within a couple of days we're going to be stressed again, because there is so much to do, because we're moving out of the current Time for Tea HQ, which is our dining room, or our ex-dining room, because it's not been our dining room for a long time, and we are going to be is one of these like a little picker thing? No, I had a little jewel picker, smaller than this, but we'll try this. We're moving out of the dining room into new premises, which will also be the premises for our workshops and classes. So you do let me know what sort of things that you would like to see in a workshop or a class if you were able to come to one. It's got stuck. My glue's got stuck to my tittle. Come on. There we go. I wonder if I can add that to there and pick that up like so. Yeah, that didn't work. Most of the glue has come off there. Come on now, play ball. Flip it back over. There we go. So yeah, so let me know what you would like to see. I mean, what do you see, from other companies? We've never done live workshops. We've never had the opportunity because of lockdown. So yeah, we can't wait to be able to do them. So let us know what you'd really like to see. Oh, that was a bit of faffing, but I got there in the end. Sorry about that. How far away in terms of a drive is your new premises? So from here, it's about, I would say it's about a 15-minute drive. Yeah, no more than that, I wouldn't have said. I will be going and having a look at the premises ahead of the holiday again next week, just to make final kind of notices and preparations for when we get back. So yeah, so it's only about a 15 minutes drive from here. So and a lot of what I'll be doing will still be from home, but all of our stock and all of the the warehousing type stuff will now be better housed in the new premises, which will be awesome. It'll give me so much more room to work. So I'm just trimming around the edge of here to just remove that excess bit of foam. So yeah, it'll be so much easier then packing orders, especially for the larger orders for like Create and Craft and for our retailers, because that can sometimes be really hard to manage in such a small space. So so yeah, I'm so excited, I can't wait. And then there's the additional room, like I say, for us to hold the workshops. So we'll have it set up as a part shop, part warehouse, and part workshop area. So it's going to be pretty cool. But it's going to need a little bit of decorating and organising first. So I don't know quite when the workshops will be ready to start, but hopefully you know, it won't be too long. Just need to make sure that that is gonna, yeah, that's the right way. Oh, got ink, glue on my fingers. There we go. Pop that in the middle there. That's really made it nice. Also, a shop you can visit that's dangerous. Yes. So, what's that? Sorry. Can't wait to see it. So good, so close to your house. Yes, I wanted somewhere that was close, definitely. Yeah, we think, my plan is, I'm not sure who that is who said that, oh, it's time for tea. So I don't know who's logged on as time for tea, but in answer to your question, a shop that you can visit, yes. So I'm thinking perhaps not straight away, because like I said, there's a bit of decorating that needs doing. But I think come November time, I hope, oh hello Natalie, I'm hoping that by November time we might be able to open at least one morning a week for to open it as a shop, which I think will be really cool. So I'm going to add this to my vellum piece first, so a little bit of glue on there. And we'll just grab this and line that up. And what that will do then, it'll mean that any adhesive I pop on the back of here you won't see, which will be cool, and it'll make sure that that is nicely adhered. So I can add glue to that bit, and then for the back piece, this piece here, I'm just going to add my little doggies are going to be here, so they're going to cover most of that up, and then my sentiment's also going to cover that bit up. So I'm just adding a few little strokes of tape runner that you shouldn't be able to see too much once that's down. Give that a good press in place. Yay, and you can't see that. Lauren says, bricks and mortar store. Oh man, I will need to drive from Scotland for that. Oh, bless you, that's so cute. Annalisa says, you are so lucky, those of you who can visit. I would love to. Oh, maybe one day you could come visit. One day. That would be so cool. Would love to see you all. So yeah, I'm really, really super excited about it. It's definitely a dream come true. So we're getting there with this card, aren't we? Which is really cool. So I think that's a good position. Now my little doggies go over the edge here, you can see. So I am going to pop them up on some foam tape anyway. I just need to make sure that my foam tape is thick enough for it to work, if you see what I mean. So I'm thinking our shaker tape is deep enough for it to create enough of a lift, because it's got to lift over this lip here, and it's also got to be in line with the edges here. So see. Now if I was clever, I might create a different amount of dimension on the back of there, but I think all I'm going to do is prop up probably from about here, and let's see what happens. May have lost my tittle now. Should be under there somewhere. So yes, so excited about coming back. I mean, one of the things that I think is really cool about you know, my job at the moment is that I don't think that, although I'm going to obviously love being on holiday and love the time off, there isn't going to be any of that, oh, I don't want to go back to work, because I think I'll just be really super excited to come back. So that works really nicely. So let's see. Have I added that a bit too? Just trying to see. Yes, so there is going to be a bit of an overlap. Is that going to dip down too much? No, I think that's going to work. So let's remove the backing off here. So how many of you guys are close enough to Sheffield that you might be able to come to a workshop? I know Natalie is nearby, aren't you? Let me just make sure that my sentiment is in the right place. We don't want the doggies too low down. There we go. Yes, that's cute. And then we'll add some of that same tape to the back of here, so we've got that same lift. And we'll just pop that in there. Oh yeah, I like it. And then our little friend sentiment. Now I do want this to kind of sit on the edge here. So let me think. Because obviously we don't have anything to prop up the middle there. And I think we're going to struggle to get any tape behind there. So is this going to support it enough? I think it will, won't it? And then the tittle, actually if we put it a little bit higher, and the tittle can sit on the end there, that should work. So I probably just need a bit of glue on the F and the D, and probably that bit of the R as well. Do I have red foam? I don't, unfortunately, no, because that could have worked, couldn't it? But I think that's going to work. I think it'll hold itself up quite nicely. And then just there is where I need my tittle to go. Boom, there, yay! Cute, like it. Yeah, I think that works, doesn't it? And I don't think it needs anything else. So when I've coloured in my little dogs, obviously I've added some glaze to the eyes and a little bit of the white Jelly Roll pen to finish them off. So let's just have a little zoom in and have a look. Oh yes, like that a lot. He's cute. That's turned out so well. I'm really, really pleased with that. and it's got that kind of autumn look to it, but we've used obviously the Pawsome stencil and the pattern stencil in the background. I love the little floor as well that we made with the wood grain, and then the pops of red. I think it just works really, really well, and I've enjoyed using some older die sets as well. Oh, I love it. So I'm going to tell you what my other idea was. We're not going to have time to do it today, unfortunately. I'll zoom out a little bit just so that we can see. Oh, she says sometimes it just doesn't want to grab. So what I was going to do was I was going to use, what have I done with those now? I was going to use some of my my little coffee, my little snappy before coffee guys here. And actually, what was this card that I was going to make? Oh, was I going to make this card? Guess we could do this super quick. This is a super quick one that's pretty much already made. So this was a card that I made for Create & Craft. But my idea was, and this is my snappy before coffee, little guys. So my idea was to do a slimline card. So imagine this is my slimline card, and I was going to use some of my lovely lovely Ants Alphas to make my card. And I was going to do, obviously I've not got all of my, I've not die cut, separated all of my bits yet, but I was going to do, what have we got here? We've got, let's have a look. I can't help myself, can I? The thing is that I spend a lot of time drawing things or working on the computer, answering emails, packing orders, and I don't get a lot of time to craft, and I love the crafting. So we've got a hug in a, again, mug. So the slimline, I was going to just do a bit of my own kind of, so imagine that's an A, so that we can line it up, and then you would have mug there. So we would have, and then maybe have the teacup at the top, so that's kind of like tea, a hug in a mug, or we could spell out the coffee and have in a mug there. So I just thought that was really quite a cute idea. And do a little bit of using some of the little stamps around that sentiment. There is so much to do outside the using of your beautiful products, so it's nice to see you enjoying them. I know this is it. I love, obviously I love crafting. I love the products that we produce. I genuinely really get excited about them, and I don't get enough chance to play with them, and I'm like, I've not used my alphas, I've not played with this, I've not played with that. So so yeah, and I'm going to pop these all on a bit of so one thing I've not done with these, which I normally do, as you know, is I will put my dies onto some of this these magnetic sheets. So I've not done that yet with my alphas because I'd run out of the magnetic sheets, but I do have some now. So so yeah, so I just need to cut some of this down. So I've got these sheets. I just need to cut them down, and then we can line them all up on here, you see. So hopefully that's a big enough piece, and then I'll not lose them because there's a couple of other ones in there, look. So I just cut a piece off here and then take the backing off, stick that onto the original insert, and then we can just add all of our bits on there, and that'll keep them all safe, and I'll get them all separated so that and I will do them in alphabetical order because that will help me find everything at some stage. But yeah, that's the best way to store all of your dies, rather than just letting them just roll around like I have been doing. And just make sure you cut yourself a big enough piece. I might not have done here now, and I've done that in a hurry, but you know, you can make it work, I'm sure. Yeah, you get quite a lot on here actually. Stick that on there, twist a few. These just twist really quite easily as well, so just if you've got any sharp bits, use your little jewellery snips to get rid of them, and there you go, job's a good one. I'll pop them away. So I am going to have a go with those definitely at some point and do that, because I like the idea of the hugging a mug. I think that's a really cute idea. So the card that I was going to make on Create and Craft, I mean, this is just purely a sticking job here. In fact, I even had part of it already stenciled actually, because I was stenciling it as he was talking. Where is it? There it is. Oh, I think that might be a smaller piece. Yeah, so I was doing a bit of stenciling while he was talking. So I took the largest die here. Oh yeah, because I laid them up, didn't I? That's right. So yeah, is that the largest one? No, I lied. Next to largest? Yeah. So took the second largest of the dies. I've got a fold in my cardstock. Can't open it. So I've got a folded piece of cardstock. Take my die. So this is what I was talking about, how you make your card base. Line that up with this edge here hanging over. So you'll be able to feel where that line is in your die, and just feel that butt up against that fold, that crease. And you know then that you're not actually going to be cutting the crease, you're just going to be missing that off the edge, and that will create a fold. So let me run this through the machine and you'll see what I mean once it's cut. And like I said, this is going to be so quick. This is one of those demos that I made to be super quick, because I knew I wouldn't get a lot of time, but then I didn't get time to do it at all, which is often the case. It's not unusual that be the case, but I hate things not being finished. I find it really frustrating. So you can see there that because we had it hanging over the edge, we've still got that fold, and we've created a card base in that shape, which I think is just so cool. And you can do that with all of your shaped dies. If you think they're going to make a good, you know, shaped card base, then you've created your own custom made shaped cards, which is cool. So this is going to be our second layer on the card, and we can even do this as a top folding. So I think I did this as a side fold. Oh no, I didn't. I did it as a top fold. Check me out. So we'll do it as a top fold again then, seeing as I did already think of doing that. Annalisa says I had a lot of time to stencil then if you were doing it while he was talking. I know. Well, the thing is, what I was hoping was, because, you know, there wasn't a lot of time to show anything, hadn't really shown the coffee bean stencil. And the coffee bean stencil is one of my favourites. because I think this is such a cool stencil and a cool background. And I really wanted to show it off, so I thought that while we were kind of wrapping up and talking, that they might show me doing that, but they didn't. They just showed him talking, so, which is fine, that's his job. Now then, let me see, where did I put my stencil? I put my stencil away. He's got a job to do, bless him, and I think he, you know, he's also, he's known for his talking, isn't he? So, no, I don't know if I'm going to get this lined up with how I had it now, am I? Not that it really matters as such. I just know that I've got quite a large, oh, there you go, hang on, I think we've only gone and done it. Whee! Check that out. Let me move this up here so you can see. I did manage to find where that was, and I think I used a bit of warm lipstick. So this was a different colour to the one that was my inspiration, which was this one. I'd used very much coffee colours in the background of that, but because we're going to use our little crock here, I thought a little bit of a pop of pink might look really nice. So let's grab one of my pink brushes, and I'm just going to move all of this over that background. Nothing fancy, no need really for it to be anything, you know, super fancy. This is some vanilla cardstock. I think that's what it's called. I shall have a little look for you, because I have got my swatch booklet, so that helps me remember. Pop that in there. Let's have a look. Where is it? There it is. So yeah, vanilla milkshake. That's what it's called. So yes, if you're looking for the same colour, and I think this colour goes really nicely. So I don't have a lot of colour on there to try that technique that we were talking about, but you could add more colour to that if you wanted. You could add, you know, mix a few more colours in there. I quite like it as it is, so I think I'm going to leave it. I like the clean lines, you know, to keep it, although now I've seen it against the background, I'm thinking that actually bringing in a bit of this pink from the outside in might be quite nice. And you know what is going to work really well for that is my little stackable brush. So let's just add a little bit of that around the edge. Yeah, that's really pretty. Just softens the edges a little bit. Normally I quite like them to be quite crisp, but because this colour is very similar to the colour behind it, I think adding that little bit of a border. And because my the stackable brushes apply a more directional piece of colour, it can sometimes be a little bit darker. So this is probably the only time that you will see me tap off my brush or bring it in from the edge rather than directly onto my paper. And that's not because I'm worried about not getting a smooth blend with this brush. Quite the opposite. I am just wanting to reduce the amount of ink that I pop on the paper. So let's add that last little bit. I think that just looks so nice, and these brushes create such a lovely effect. The stackable brushes, just the same as you would with your larger brushes, just use a microfiber cloth to clean them, and that's all you need. So sorry, I noticed I keep going further and further down my table here. So let me try and pick this up and pop that on there, and we'll just have a quick clean. I'm surrounded by stuff already. How did it get so messy in here? That's what happens when you're having fun. So, what's everybody up to this weekend then? Does anybody have any exciting plans for the weekend? I feel it's going to be quite a nice weekend. Am I right in that assumption? We are going actually to Aunt's sister is having a gender reveal party, so that's exciting. So we're going to go and find out the sex of their little baby, which is very, very cool. So I've never been to a gender reveal party actually, so I don't really know what the deal is. But I know it's going to be exciting. So it's very, very peculiar because both of his sisters are pregnant at the same time. The Hannah, whose gender reveal party we're going to at the weekend, is a little bit further along than his sister Laura, but only by maybe 4 weeks, I'm going to say. So how bizarre is that? And we're all going away to Greece to see his other sister get married. So it's all happening in the Simpson family. So I'll just line that up there with some of those foam pads. And then what I did was I just cut a strip of that same chocolate coloured cardstock, just so that we had like a little bit of ground really to pop our sentiment and our images on. So a bit like we've done here, I am just going to add that onto the card base. Is that a bit thick? No, I'm happy with that. I just wonder whether I want to cut it down a little bit. I think it's a little bit thicker than I'd done it previously. Let's just trim a little bit off, because I don't want to cover up all of that lovely stenciling. And I feel like maybe my my cut is not the straightest. No, it's not, is it? So let's just cut this end piece ever so slightly, just so that it's a bit straighter. And then we'll line that up and trim off the edge. Just taking a sliver off there, and then we can pop that. Yeah, that feels a little bit more balanced. Oop. Put that on there. And then the final bit then is to add our images. So I had already coloured and die cut the Snappy Before Coffee, one of the little crocs, and the coffee cart, which is one of my favourite things that I've ever drawn, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to see, actually, let's just grab these, because they're going to take up quite a bit of our I guess our space, aren't they? So we could add our sentiment up at the top here. So I'm not really going to push that down too much. And I could pop these kind of in the middle with the Have a Beautiful Day at the bottom. Yeah, I think that's going to look quite cute, isn't it? So let's just pop that on there. And Lisa says she loves the coffee cart so much. It is so cute, isn't it? And I want my little croc to be holding on to the cart, so I'm just going to tilt them both ever so slightly so that they're holding on to them, and then the coffee is just going to sit at this side here, I think. Yeah, that's going to work. And then I think the finishing touch then is just adding some coffee beans to the scenario. And I think maybe one down here. So I just cut 3 because I like a nice odd number. And that'll just add a little bit of interest to the back there. And then let me just test my, I've got a bit of cardstock to test my pen on. Oh. Yeah, oh, that works. And then just some highlights on the coffee beans. Just add a finishing touch as well. And then I think possibly I want to add some highlights to the floor, and just think that that just brings that out a little bit as well. Yeah, I think that just highlights it a little bit. What do you think? So that, so I know that was a lot of that was pre-prepared for Create and Craft, but I really loved the end result, you know, the concept of it. So I'm glad I've had a chance to actually make it for you, because I was so disappointed that I didn't get to do it on air. And then we've got our doggone mutts as well with the with our friend card. So yay, we made 2 cards. So that's good. If it does end up being kind of the last one for a couple of weeks, at least we got to make 2 cards, which is cool. So shall we have a, see if I can zoom in a little bit, although I don't know whether I'll be able to get both of them in if I do. Oh yeah, that works. That works. What do we think to that? Emma says you're off to Dogfest on Saturday, a day out with the dogs, buying nice things for them. Oh, that's so cute and so appropriate that we did some little dogs then today. That's very cute. Lauren says lovely, thank you so much. I really think they're both really cute and really simple to do. So once obviously we had the images already coloured, so if you coloured your images in already, these are some really nice fun backgrounds to do with just a few shape die cuts and some stencils, and you've made yourself some cute little cards there. I enjoyed that. That was so much fun. Like I say, I don't get enough time to craft, and my Thursday nights with you guys are my little oasis in the middle of all of this. It's like, what's the saying? Water everywhere and not a drop to drink. There's like craft products everywhere around me, but I don't get to use any of them. So it's so frustrating. So that's why I love my Thursday nights. I love the opportunity to be able to sit and craft with you and play with some of the products. So thank you for giving me that opportunity and keeping me company while I did it. I shall bid you good night. I'll go and see what Anthony's up to and see what else there is on my to-do list to do tomorrow before we go away. Thank you so much for your time tonight, guys, and I'll see you really soon. See you soon, guys. Bye.